Welcome back to the Seraphine podcast on my YouTube channel. I am Seraphine Arocha, and back in the red chair with me is Chelsea Atia, and we are discussing part 2 of the Real Housewives reunion. So let's dive right in. So we start out in part 2 with Andy asking Erica about the cheating allegations with Tom.
Yeah.
Instantly, she's like sitting up very straight in her chair.
Mm-hmm.
She is very quick with her answers. At one point, I felt like it was like a machine gun answering of questions.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
Very trained. Like, it reminds me of like if you prepare for court and these are your answers.
But I was thinking about this, and to be fair, I would probably be practicing everything too, because she has to be so specific and so careful about what word she chooses. But side note, I don't really understand why what does the cheating have to do with anything? Is that like a reason for her to leave him? Is that what they're trying to establish here? Or why is this such a...
Yeah, I think what they're trying to establish is that she was fighting for her marriage. She was a loyal wife that put up with a lot of crap with him. I think she's trying to establish that she's not just bailing on him to bail on him, that it's built up so much, and that, you know, what I got from it is, I've been with this man a really long time, and I've protected him. I've been a good wife, and the final straw is like, you know, this happened on top of, like, he's still having affairs even at this age. You know, I don't know. I don't know what to say, because it's super uncomfortable. And she says over and over again, I think she says it maybe 2 or 3 times, all marriages are complex, which I totally agree. It was interesting how she also said, I tried to highlight the best moments for the show, because as a good wife, I didn't want to sit here and throw my husband under the bus.
Totally.
And again, she's a performer. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I do think she's trying to establish that she is a good person, that she's not just a gold digger, and that she put up with quite a bit to make the marriage work.
That actually makes way more sense to me, because the one part that she did not answer directly was when Andy was reading in a question from a viewer, and they asked her if he was losing his mind and he was going through all this, why did you pick that time to leave him? That's when you're supposed to be with someone. And she really didn't give an answer.
Yeah, I feel like she kind of answered it by saying that she feels like it's been happening all along. It's only been public knowledge that he has lost his marbles.
Yeah.
Because they did go back in some of the footage of him telling that story to the girls.
Yeah.
And, you know, they did discuss when you have dementia, which is very true, you hold on to the stories that you've told a million times.
Yeah.
And they make you feel grounded. It makes you feel like, you know where you're going. And it was interesting that Kyle's friend pointed out that he showed all the signs of dementia, even in that brief scene with all the women. Yeah. Because if you really look at it and listen to it, he doesn't really address the women too much by name.
Right.
He's performing in front of a group like a lawyer does.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that there's, and I mean, if you see him now, it's not like the stress hasn't gotten to him, but he's deteriorated pretty quickly.
Oh, it's crazy. He looks like I didn't recognize him.
No.
When I started seeing that, I was like, oh, they're comparing Tom to some random old man that has a black eye. No, it's Tom Girardi.
Yeah.
So I have a question, and you kind of answered it just now, but do you feel like he has dementia?
Yes. I feel like he's got some form of it, whether it is stress induced, whether he had maybe had some signs of it with her in the beginning. Yeah. But his deterioration looks pretty bad.
But do you think that would be an excuse for what happened?
Oh, no. I don't.
Because I think that's what they're trying to. I feel like my opinion is that's what they're trying to say is like, we can't charge this man with everything because he doesn't even know what's going on right now.
Well, and to be harsh, Erica said it. His life is over. He's in his 80s.
Yeah.
To me, I think what is being established maybe by, his lawyers is this sense of, obviously they want him off the hook, but I think they're trying to give this man some kind of dignity because he is going to die. I mean, and after all this is happening, I can only imagine the amount of stress that he has, and that in and of itself can give someone a freaking heart attack.
Yeah.
I don't condone anything he does. I think he deserves everything he gets. Unfortunately, it feels kind of late because I feel like he kind of got served his own justice in his own way because his whole world has crumbled, and he's not in his right mind. Yeah. And he's in a home. Yeah. I mean, all of I think people's greatest fears of like people turning on you, being left. I mean, it's tough because I don't like looking at it. I'd rather dislike a man who looks like a powerful old asshole, not someone who looks like, he's been thrown to the psychological wolves, I guess, because he looks like he has just been through the paces.
He does.
So we definitely had a weird moment when they addressed how much money she makes, and then she said she's handed over every paycheck to him. Yeah. I have to say, I actually in some ways do believe that.
Yeah, I do
too. Because who wouldn't? He's a multimillionaire. All of his taxes, all of the things that, honestly, when you're making what she is compared to what he was making, it probably it would make sense to me. I thought about my own marriage and I was like, well, what I make is pennies to where my husband does. So I'm like, all right, I trust you with taxes, all of financial.
I don't think that is out of the realm of what normal people would do. I think a lot of women do that. I mean, if you trust your husband, and why wouldn't you trust your husband? And he's successful in her eyes. He is a successful lawyer, and he's made all this money. So maybe he's going to invest it and make it something. He's telling her, I'm going to invest it and make it something bigger. I would do the same thing, probably. I mean, why would you need to be worried about that?
Well, second guess it, right? Or you shouldn't. But I do think it is an interesting warning to all women going into any kind of marriage that you really should be on top of your finances. I also think that when Sutton was like, I owned a baseball team. Yeah. I mean, these are the things where, when you are co-signing on things, if you're saying, all right, let's do this together, it's hard because it's a lot of complicated paperwork. Yeah. And you have to, again, I loved how she was like, get a forensic accountant for yourself. So, I think these conversations are good to show, especially of their age and status.
Totally.
Because I think a lot of people just assume a lot. Mm-hmm. And in this day and age where knowledge is everywhere, you can Google, you can, see social media, you can do background checks, all of that kind of thing. Like, no one's going to get away with too much.
Yeah. But the part around this that I thought was kind of, was whenever Andy was like, he was just kind of in awe that she gave him her paycheck, and he was trying to understand, like, why didn't you leave sooner? And that's when she said, I gave all of my paychecks to my husband. And he was like, so you stayed with him for the money? And she was like, no, because she's been fighting that since they got together. Yeah. She doesn't want to look like the gold digging woman. And Andy was like, I know what you make, and it ain't bad.
Yeah. I don't know. That whole exchange was strange. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like, in the end, she made it really clear about, when people get a divorce, they're entitled to half the money
and
about half the debt.
Yeah.
Half the debt. So, she she made the decision to, stay with him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she had more reasons than just the money.
Totally.
I mean,
I agree.
I think that, and I also think that she was in the dark about a lot of things, because I think it would be a really hard pill to swallow if you really believed you were married to a demon that was cheating with multiple women.
Yeah.
That's tough, know? So again, it's hard to point the finger at her, but in the next breath, it's like, when you start to smell like something smells like, or what is it? It smells like shit. It's usually shit. Or if it looks like a pig and dresses like a pig, it's probably a pig.
Yeah.
I think when you start to get those twinges, it's just all about keeping your eyes and ears open, and then maybe dive into your finances a little bit more. So I don't know, but I liked that section of it.
Me too, because they're the real housewives. So this is the part that's like everyone can kind of relate to, or they can apply to their own lives. So
totally,
I like that.
The other thing that I will say before we kind of move on from here is, she said that Tom wouldn't talk to her. I 100% do believe that as well.
What do you mean he wouldn't talk to her?
When she would ask him directly about things, because he strikes me as somebody who would be like, you don't need to worry about it. It's over your head. Focus on the things that make you happy. So, again, I think it's really interesting when you watch the other women make their faces, or I could see, like, when they would pan back to Kyle, I can really tell Kyle is very much showing this, like, calmness, because I think she's been in the press a lot with people trying to, like, ask about her marriage too, because no one wants anyone to have a perfect marriage. Nobody does.
Right.
And hers is pretty perfect, and I'm like, I almost want to guard her now, because I'm like, ugh. I mean,
people are asking her about her marriage.
It's been in the press a couple times about him. Yeah, and they're always small. They're nothing big, but you look at those women, and especially someone like her who's been on the show the whole time.
Yeah,
she's done a good job, but at the end, it's got to be stressful.
Totally.
So we have a weird thing with Garcelle about why didn't you tell Garcelle about the infidelity? And it ended up being that I think one of the women was someone Garcelle might have known. So, like, again, it was all alluded and hinted at, but again, you're getting more of reasons why she's acting the way she is.
Yeah, I feel like from when we first started talking about Erica, I feel like you're not that you think she's off the hook,
no,
but you have a different perspective. Yeah,
totally. And I think she needed to calm down a little bit, because when you react in anger, you look defensive. You do, no matter what. I don't like to see her beat down.
Yeah.
But in the next breath, it helps people slow down and understand her part of the story. Yeah. And when they were talking about, them auctioning off things from his office, and there being a whole agent provocateur set of lingerie in there, I can't imagine.
I know
how that would feel. I mean, it would, no matter how much of a business relationship is, it's not. She's been with the man for a long time.
Yeah.
So then the picture about her, this really pissed me off, of seeing her going on a plane.
Yeah.
And then people making a comment about what she's wearing and her Cartier ring. And then she's like, I got invited by a friend. So is my life over now?
Yeah.
But in the next breath, it's like, you've got to be super freaking careful.
You really do. Yeah. That was a tricky situation, but she had a great explanation for it.
Totally.
Yeah.
What did you think about her explanation about the whole Alzheimer's, dementia, car wreck, and the head injuries? When she was saying that she cared for him, I mean, it made sense when she slowed it down to me finally, but it also, there's still things that are loops of, like, okay.
That whole situation confuses me.
It does too.
It's honestly, like, I check out of that conversation, because it just always, I feel like it's like what she said about Tom telling stories. I feel like it's in a loop. She doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's been told too many times.
It has.
Yeah. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. That was whenever Andy said something, or I don't remember. I think it was when Andy said, I know what you make, blah, blah, blah. I think it was at that point, and that was her response, was like, she went into this explanation of Tom getting into the wreck and how she's the one that found him, and she's no. That was whenever Andy said, "Why didn't you leave?" or "Why are you leaving now when he has Alzheimer's?" And all of this time and all of these things have happened. Why did you choose now? And then she went into that story about how she found him, and that I didn't really understand the connection.
I think she really wanted to establish that her life is not over, and she feels like he made his bed, he needs to lay in it, and why should I go down and with him and be his nursemaid when he's done all of this shit? I've done it for XYZ amount of years. Yeah. And it's hard because, again, I get it.
Yeah.
If her money wasn't commingled and it looks like she was a part of it.
Yeah.
It would be a whole other thing if it was like her finances weren't commingled and fucking these people over.
Do you think she can recover from this and save face?
I really hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
I
hope she does full circle.
I think she's obviously learned so many hard lessons.
Yeah.
But Teresa Giudice has come around. Like she was in a very, not exactly the same situation, but similar.
Yeah.
She's engaged now to someone else, and
I know, and they're a hot couple. He actually pulls up her real estate a little bit. I was like, you guys look good together.
Yeah.
Well, we see a little bit of Dorit taking a lot of crap this whole season. Really, and I thought the whole Andy yawning thing.
Yeah.
Forced her to have a reaction just to stand up to herself. And again, I'm really wishing that she wasn't made fun of so bad, because I really feel this whole season people have kind of made fun of her.
Yeah.
And she's been pretty good about apologizing or answering the why behind what she's doing, but also being like, well, maybe I can do better. Especially the Garcelle conversation where she was like, it was a direct question. It took me off guard.
Yeah.
I still think, she probably should have taken the temperature in the room and not really, she probably took another breath and thought about what she said. But
but she has accountability, and she actually has held herself. Like, if someone is constantly on you about something that bothers them with you, it's hard not to get super annoyed and be like,
and defensive. And
be like,
I'm
just being me.
I'm just trying to live my freaking life.
Yeah,
totally.
She's just trying to be herself, and she does talk a lot, and that's okay. I took a lot too, but to keep harping over it, Kyle really, and I kind of was like, oh, that doesn't look very good, because in her little single interviews, like a separate interview, she kept talking about Dorit talking so much and kind of making jokes about it. And there's only like, okay, I get it. I talk too much, but.
Well, and I loved how Bravo kind of did the whole thing with Kyle, kind of showing that, guess what, you do it and you do it as well.
Exactly.
So then I did like Dorit's reaction about her nose job, because I do think she would tell people. I think she's very proud of what she does to herself, her body, and buys things.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to lie, because people will find out about it anyway.
Yeah. And when they did that throwback of her visiting Kyle's doctor, her it must just be really good makeup.
Yeah.
Like, she has amazing makeup artists, and I'm not surprised that they can, make her.
Yeah.
Make her contour.
Yeah. Anything that feels a little bit off, she has it all put back together, I think. I think the last couple things to really talk about is Lisa Rinna really trying to sit above Scott Disick, and having her daughters back, which was super cool. I was down with that. But I also feel like she brought it up a lot this season.
Yeah.
So part of me was like,
I think it was a big deal in her life, though.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, when your daughter, who is up and coming, is dating one of the biggest families, the biggest family in Hollywood's
who doesn't have a great reputation. The guy is not really, people don't really respect Scott Disick. He's kind of a low-key joke with people.
Yeah.
And it stinks because, I've seen him make some changes. Unfortunately, his past is somebody that it'll haunt him for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I actually feel very, very sad for Scott, because he lost both of his parents, and I think he feels very alone.
Yeah.
And Courtney is moving on, not to get on that subject, but I think he's trying to find something to latch onto, and unfortunately you can't. I mean, he's dating such young girls.
Cyclical. He is cyclical and diabolical with these younger girls.
Yeah, and they're beautiful and they have so much life ahead of them, but that he honestly like makes them more popular. So it's doing something good for them too. I mean, Amelia's got way more followers than she did before him.
Definitely helped her light shine, and it showed that she's a little bit, I mean, and again, her breaking up with him didn't bring down her real estate. It just made you go, oh.
Yeah. But, you know, if she didn't break up with him, she kind of would have looked stupid.
Oh, I know.
Because of the
reach out to Courtney in her DMs. Oh.
Well, the reach out to Courtney's ex, Giannis.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was so...
It was weird. But Andy asking Lisa who broke up with who, and Lisa was like, well, you just have to read whatever's in the media. Amelia did.
I loved it. It was the best. It was so mom having her daughter's back.
I loved it. I mean, she's so close with her girls. So
it was so good. I feel like, you know, this little section with them ended cute with the sauce, but wow, what a turn, and what a what do you want to call, like a plot twist with Kathy.
Yes.
And
oh my gosh.
I mean, Kathy and Kyle, there was a few moments there where I could totally tell Kathy was out of her comfort zone.
Yes.
And to cry on camera, she didn't even want, I mean, she was hiding behind Kyle.
Yeah, we see Kathy this whole season. How we know Kathy is she's just like, she's kind of separated
composed,
herself.
funny, but also like, I'm not in this.
She only wants to show you what she wants you to see, because she has a huge reputation.
Yeah.
And that, I totally agree with you. I think her mom is I feel so sad. I mean, you could tell that they were just so sad that their mom wasn't there. And Kathy was the oldest, so she had the most time with her mom.
And also that sense of, I could totally relate being the older sister.
Yeah.
And feeling like, you know, how would our mom want, you know, her daughters to show up? You know? And seeing, if I watch two of my sisters on a reality TV show go at it about
and
alcoholism,
expose that,
totally, it's a lot to watch.
I think Kyle deeply regrets that. I think she was in the moment. That was season 1 when Kyle and Kim were in the limo in a fight, and Kim was accusing Kyle of stealing her house, and then Kyle outing Kim as an alcoholic. Oh, that was not known before that.
So painful to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, just watching it again was so cringy, but also how far I think Kyle has come as just a reality TV person.
Yeah, she gets it now.
And a woman, a businesswoman, and someone protecting her marriage and being in the public eye.
Yeah.
It's okay to put things out there if you're a reality TV star, and I appreciate people's honesty so that I can reflect on my own life.
Yeah.
that it's tough. I mean, I think the reason why these shows fascinate us is, number one, they're living an elevated fantasy lifestyle that we all would love to be a part.
Yeah.
But number two, they still are experiencing problems with all their money, all their excess. There are things that we can relate to, and also maybe reflect back onto our own relationships with our husbands or our family members.
Yeah.
And then kind of asking ourselves, like, what could they do better, or what would I do in that situation, or if I was in the same situation, you know, you ask yourself, like, is there another way to go about it? So
exactly.
I appreciate you ladies for putting all of your dirty laundry
super
out
vulnerable
for me and Chelsea to dissect and pull it all apart. But we do love you guys. We think you guys are it's one of my favorite franchises under Bravo.
Same. Yeah.
It really is.
What do you think? What are your predictions for the next 2 episodes? We're definitely going back into Erica.
We will definitely go back into Erica, but I think now it will be who's really Erica's friend in this. I think it will be talking about Erica's future, what her plans are.
Yeah.
I think there will be, I think there might be some touch points with Crystal. She was barely, in these first 2, there was nothing with Crystal. And I think that Crystal is someone Bravo and the fans of Bravo would like to see more of.
Yeah, I like her.
I do too. I'd like to see what she brings
and
to
Sutton
the table.
too. We haven't heard a lot from Sutton yet.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm really hoping Sutton comes in, but I think Sutton dominated the season so much that it's cool. I actually think it's a pretty cool move that she's like, okay.
Yeah,
you know?
she's watched it, and I think she feels bad because I think she thought everyone else was in the same boat as her as far as questioning things. She just went through a divorce, so she understood, you know, how all the steps. And when you relate to someone that's gone through the same thing or is going through the same thing that you went through, you're gonna have more of an opinion about it because you get it. And I was watching her as Erica was speaking, and she really didn't move her face. She just was very like, I'm staying out of this. Yeah. I've gotten way too deep in this, and it's not my business. And I think that she felt a personal connection during the season because she had just went through it herself.
And it's kind of nice to see when people understand, like, I'm moving on. How about you? You know? So, but unfortunately, Erica can't, but she can. And it's good to see her
like
take
Sutton.
that. I do too.
She had moments this season.
Yeah, but she's definitely
with the
with the face roller. Oh my God,
she's quirky, but I love it.
Me too. And she's owning who she is, which I wish Lisa Rinna would own more of who she is. We'll see. I hope she steps up on the air. If she's really Erica's friend, then I say go for it, guns a-blazing. But she's doing a lot of like head nodding and weird. I'm like, come on, let's say out loud. What
You're so right.
She's like, yeah. I'm like, Rinna, just say you support your friend, and like let's go. I'm missing the Rinna that.
Well, if she doesn't support Erica's gonna say something, and I think according to previews, there is a moment when she's asking for backup, and we'll see who stands up for her.
We'll see.
The
real Slim Shady, please stand up. Oh my gosh! If you like this episode, please hit the like, subscribe button. Thank you for listening, for watching. We appreciate your support.
We love you.
We do. We love you so much. Let us know your thoughts about the Real Housewives reunion. It is gonna get more spicy. 2 more episodes to go. See you later. Bye-bye.